never living hate. Expelled and exiled, I left my father's shore. I bore long labors both by sea and by land, and in the Trojan War. All this before I won the Latin realm, and built the glorious and destined town.
Rome, if any nation deserves the privilege of claiming a divine ancestry, that nation is our own. When we declare that Mars himself, our first parent and father of Romulus, the man who founded our city, all the nations of the world might as well accept it, as readily as they accept Rome's imperial dominion.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Famous Men of Rome. Please allow me, the legendary hero Aeneas,
and me, the famous historian Livy,
take you on a journey in 3 parts. We will chart the Roman age of kings,
the glory of the Republic,
and the power of the Western Empire.
Please enjoy the performance.
To one day rule the world. I founded Rome. My name is Romulus. Welcome one, welcome all. Come to this city for refuge. Be you wanderer, fugitive, or refugee, you shall find a home in this city. Rome is the city worthy of your desires, O admirable Latin race. We will be the forebears of truly honorable, majestic, and brave men. The glory of our city will be incomparable to all other cities. Today you are laying the foundations of victory, dignity, peace, and life.
Thank you, great Romulus. We are forever your servants, soldiers, and loyal companions.
But where will we find good wives to marry? No one will come to us because we are known as criminals and vagrants. Who on earth will marry us?
What do we need that we cannot steal from our neighbors? We will invite our neighbors, the Sabines, to a festival with kings and feasting, and at the sound of the horn, every man shall take a woman and ride back to Rome.
And this they did. Causing King Tarsus of the Sabines to make war. But he and Romulus, with the grace of the Sabine women, were able to make peace before much harm was done. Rome prospered, and a senate was formed to govern it. Romulus was the first king of what would become a grand civilization.
Rome became a civilization that not only acted grandly, but looked grand. Many splendid buildings were erected by the great King Tarquin.
I am Tarquin, and to anyone with the name Tarquin, power is the breath of life. To some, our name is an ill omen, dangerous to liberty, but I do many great things. Here you see my racetrack, the Circus Maximus.
After King Tarquin, a man named Servius Tullius ruled Rome with goodness and gentleness. But a son of King Tarquin plotted against Servius Tullius. His name was Tarquin the Proud.
This impostor, Servius Tullius, shall not stand in my way any longer. I shall be king over his dead body.
And so, Tarquin did as he said. Servius Tullius was killed. Tarquin the Proud became king. Tarquin the Proud would be the last king of Rome because he was such a cruel tyrant. One of his sons, named Sextus, insulted a young lady of the royal court named Lucretia. She was so ashamed that she plunged a dagger into her heart. At this outrage, a leader arose to defy the tyranny of Sextus and Tarquin the Proud. His name was Junius Brutus.
By this girl's blood, no more chains till a tyrant wronged her. And by the gods, I swear that with sword and fire, and anything else that can lend strength to my arm, I will pursue Lucius Tarquinius the Proud, his wicked wife, and all his children. And never again will I let them or any other man be king in Rome.
Down with Tarquin the tyrant! No more kings! We will not suffer one man to rule Rome!
Junius Brutus was given as splendid a funeral as those early days of the Roman Republic could afford, of which the most poignant expression was given by the women of Rome who mourned him for a year as a father. It was their special tribute to his fierce championship of a woman's honor.
Thus the age of kings ended. The people would suffer no single man to rule Rome. Instead, they put their faith in the rule of the Senate. But Rome's ousted King Tarquin would not go down without a fight. He joined forces with the king of Clusium, Lars Porsena, to try and take back his throne. Porsena and his army marched to Rome, but there encountered some difficulty.
The only way for the Etruscans to enter our city is by crossing the Sublician Bridge. Council, what should we do?
We must get down the bridge. It is the only way to save our city. As many who can start dismantling the bridge.
The Etruscans are in sight. We are running out of time.
If only someone could hold them off while we finish tearing down the bridge.
Who could do that? A whole army against one man? Consul, give me 2 good men, and I will defend the bridge and hold the enemy at bay.
3 men to hold back thousands? We can easily defeat 3 Romans. The city will be ours.
Spurious, Titus, the bridge is about to fall. Run back to the other side, and I will stay and defend it.
The bridge is down, Horatius.
Horatius was well rewarded for its bravery and had a statue erected in his honor. Porsena decided to keep his army on the other side of the river. His plan was to besiege Rome, preventing any food from being sent in, thus forcing the Romans to surrender. But there was one thing Porsena had not accounted for: Caius Mutius.
I have devised a way to save our city. I'm going to march right into the Etruscan camp, find Porsena and kill him. That should put an end to this siege.
Here is your pay. Go tell your troops to prepare for guard duty at the river. Distribute this between your men and report back to me afterwards. Oh no! He has killed the secretary!
Who are you? Why have you done this?
I'm a Roman citizen. I came here to kill you because you're an enemy of Rome. I have failed, but there are others coming who will not fail. Your life will be in constant danger, Lars Porsena, and you will one day be killed when you least expect it.
I shall burn you to death if you do not tell me at once all of Rome's plans to kill me.
Behold, how little we Romans care for pain when it is to defend our country.
I'm amazed. This man's heart is fearless and cannot be bound. Set him free.
In return for your kindness, I now tell you of my own free will, when not under the threat of punishment. Know that 300 young Roman men have pledged enough to kill you. Thought fell first to me. I have failed, but there are others coming until Rome is finally free of you.
Porsena was so frightened at these words that he immediately sent messengers to make peace.
Peace did not last. War broke up with the Aequians to the east. However, the Romans were easily winning. However, in a feigned retreat during one battle, the Aequians lured some Roman horsemen into a narrow ravine. It was a trap. One did manage to escape and return to Rome to inform the Senate of our dire situation.
We are following the Aequians pursuit and led us into a ravine. They barricade the exits and most of the army was trapped. They are surrounding Rome's horsemen at the top of the hills. There is little food for the horses, sparing water, and not much food. If we don't act quickly, they will die.
For a while, the Senate saw little hope, but then one senator spoke up.
There is only one man to save us. Let us go to Cincinnatus.
And so they did. Cincinnatus shall tell you the rest of the story.
When the senators came to find me, I was plowing my fields. Because Rome needed me, I left my plow and gathered faithful men from my army. Before the sun set that evening, we marched to the hills where the Romans were trapped. In the quiet stillness of dawn, we formed ranks all around the Aequians. It was not they who were trapped. They fought desperately, but Rome was victorious again. I chose to spare their lives, but not without them passing under the yoke. The joy of my countrymen was so great, they wanted to make me king. I was crowned with the laurel wreath and paraded into the city. But I knew my role, so I gave up my power and went back to farming.
When the Roman Republic was under a great threat, they appointed a dictator to have supreme power, but only for as long as it took to secure Rome's safety. Our next famous Roman is Camillus. Camillus was a great soldier and was made dictator of Rome in a time of great danger. But he ran into the trouble on one occasion. Camillus was accused by the leaders of being greedy with the spoils of war. Such a crime was very serious, and it went to trial. Seeing a trial before a tribunal as a disgrace, he chose a life of exile. And as he passed out of Rome's gates, he prayed that the gods would do something so terrible that the Romans would be forced to beg for his return.
My prayer was answered. Rome was invaded by the Gauls. They swooped down into Italy, defeating all Rome's armies along the way. Most of the Romans deserted the city, leaving it wide open for the enemy to pillage. They destroyed most of the city, but could not drive out a small band of Roman senators and fighters from the stronghold in the capital. Meanwhile, the people who had fled sought me out. And as I had prayed, they pleaded for me to return and deliver them from this disaster. I arrived just in time. The chief of the Gauls, Brennus, was demanding that the Senate pay him gold in order for them to be left alone. And this is what I told him. We Romans defend our country not with gold, but with steel. And so it was not gold that saved Rome that day, but the sword of Camillus.
The Roman Republic grew in strength and became engaged in a series of war with the North African city of Carthage. Rome's greatest threat during these Punic Wars was from Hannibal, the great general of Carthage. He traveled thousands of miles through Hispania and over the great Italian Alps. Rome's only hope was Scipio Africanus.
When Carthage sought to conquer Rome a second time, it sent Hannibal across the Alps with war elephants to crush our army. His brother Agrippa was the first to see my sword when I repelled him from Italy. Hannibal was also in its cold green when I drove his elephants to madness. I gave this short sword, the gladius, to my fellow Romans to pierce the ranks of our enemies for as long as Rome would wield it.
The Romans began to get lazy under the protection their army provided them. There were even periods of peace with Carthage, but not all Romans trusted their North African rivals.
Delendo escortado. I am Senator Cato. In my opinion, Carthage must be destroyed. I felt so strongly about the destruction of Carthage that I ended every single speech I gave in the Senate with those very words. Delendo escortado. I lived during a time when the Romans were losing sight of what really mattered. You're growing fat and lazy. And it was stealing from our strength as a nation. I chose to live a different life. I lived an austere life under the old frugality. I ate plain food, drank cheap wine, and had very few servants. I was made center. My newfound power, I fought against the frivolity and waste. People now need to get around in carriages, they can walk. I levied taxes against unstrong
The military might of Rome grew, and with it grew the power and popularity of army generals. Leaders like Julius Caesar and Pompey the Great made alliances to solidify the control of the republic.
I am the great Julius Caesar. I led armies to conquer Hispania and Gaul, and wrote about these wars in the text that would be translated by Latin school students for generations.
The whole of Gaul is divided into 3 parts, one of which the Belgae inhabit.
Stand up against Rome.
The Aquitani and other,
Defend our fatherland.
and the third of which our own language are called Celts, and ours Gauls.
I am the king, a great warrior!
Pompey was a great leader of my day, and I, the great Julius Caesar, made an alliance with him. But I would only share power for so long. Pompey came from the nobility, the upper class, but I was a man of the people, and they loved me. My greatest ambition was to rule Rome. Only Pompey stood my way. On one fateful day, my army waited on the edge of Italy on the far side of the river Rubicon. Pompey denied me entrance to Rome. Either I would disband my army and give up my ambition, or I would defy Pompey and cross the river. I chose to cross the Rubicon.
Caesar marched into Italy without the slightest challenge. He crossed the Rubicon, violating Roman laws which prohibited a Roman army inside its own borders. Even so, the people celebrated him, and they took the power of the Senate and gave it to him, and that power went to his head.
All the while, the Senate was planning their revenge. On the Ides of March, Caesar was in the Senate, pontificating about his greatness.
So, in the world, 'tis furnished well with men, and men are flesh and blood, and apprehensive. Yet in number I do know but one, that unassailable holds on his ranks, unshaken of motion, and that I am he. Let me a little show it.
Oh, Caesar.
Hence, thou lift up Olympus.
Great Caesar.
Doth not Brutus bootless kneel?
Speak, hands for me.
Et tu Brute, then falls Caesar.
After the assassination of Julius Caesar, there was one who denounced his murderers. His name was Mark Antony.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. This deed shall be avenged. Caesar's death shall be in vain, and shall not be in vain. No, I will use this to my advantage. It will be Mark Antony who will be ruling Rome now. Come, let's find the rest of the conspirators and bring them to justice.
Like Pompey and Caesar before, Antony made an alliance with Caesar's descendant Octavius, but it would not last long.
I am Caius Julius Caesar Octavianus, the great-nephew of Julius Caesar. I was destined to be Caesar's heir, and my former ally, Mark Antony, was not going to stop me. Our fleets were battling off the coast of Actium and Greece. Suddenly, in the heat of battle, Cleopatra, the queen of Egypt and Antony's companion, suddenly pulled her silver oars to flee. Antony chased after her, disgracefully abandoning his soldiers. I, Octavius, was now without a rival. I quickly rose to supreme power as Emperor Caesar Augustus. Bringing peace and order, my reign saw the flourishing of the arts, contentment among the common people, and the birth of Christ. It was the beginning of a great Roman peace, the Pax Romana.
The emperors who succeeded Augustus were powerful and intelligent, but were only occasionally good. The moral decay of Rome is often typified by the rule of Nero. Under this evil man, the Christian church saw great persecution.
Christians, a strange lot, believing in some man called Jesus, who died as their Lord. Well, I showed them my lordship. One night in Rome, flames went up all over the city. I could not help but be reminded of Troy and its fall. It inspired me to sing and play my harp. Afterwards, I was blamed for starting the fire. So I had the Christians blamed. They were put to death in many ways. Some said I was cruel, some even pitied the Christians. But I never deserved what happened to me. Why, I had done so many things to bring beauty and art to Rome, but I was not appreciated. When a conspirator came against me, I fled and had to fall upon my own sword. What an artist Lowell lost that day.
Years passed. Rome found itself being ruled by several so-called emperors who vied for control of the empire. Constantine was one of them. On the day before the battle at the Milvian Bridge, he was praying. God sent Constantine a vision of cross of light in the heavens at midday with an inscription telling him,
By this sign you shall conquer.
Accordingly, I called on God with earnest prayer and supplication that he would reveal to me who he was and stretch forth his right hand to help me in my present difficulties. While I was thus praying with fervent entreaty, a most marvelous sign appeared to me from heaven. About noon, when the day was beginning to decline, I saw with my own eyes the trophy of a cross of light. I myself was struck with amazement, and my whole army also. Which followed me on this expedition to witness the miracle.
Constantine made Christianity the official religion of the Roman Empire. By then, the empire had been divided between the east and the west, and Constantine moved his government to the east, which to the city that would be named after him, Constantinople. The division of the empire, along with the new official religion, Christianity, did much to benefit the Roman Church in many new ways. But, however, it did not prevent the West from being overrun by the Gauls.
Those who worshiped the old pagan gods blamed this new Christian religion for Rome's fall. In North Africa, the Christian Bishop Augustine famously responded to this accusation. Was it Christianity's fault that Rome was sacked by the Gauls? No, Rome's own pride and immorality were the source of its troubles. But Christianity offered the citizenship in the city of God, where sin is covered by Christ, where the pride of man is redeemed by the love of God.
Christianity is a religion worthy of your desires, O admirable Roman race, the progeny of Junius Brutus and of Horatius, of Cato, and of Augustus. Choose now what you will pursue, that your praise is not in yourself, but in the true God, in whom is no error. Incomparably more glorious than Rome is that heavenly city in which for victory you have truth for dignity, holiness for peace, felicity for life